Chapter 459. Playing with Fire. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After hearing Lucien's loving words, Donna can't resist hugging him and start patting his head. "Oh, Lucy. You always have flowery words to make me feel emotional." He feels awkward about receiving Donna's pats. Usually, he does that to the girls now, but it can't be helped because she is his older sister. She begins to play with his ears and horns, which starts to make Lucien get horny. He tries to get rid of her caresses, but she acts quickly by climbing on his back. "Fly with me, Lucy," she asks. "You fly with Sophia and Amelia all the time. I can't fly with you holding my wings," he comments. "I can't fly like Eve yet, you know." The scene of Lucien and Donna catches the eye of everyone on the street. People see that frighteningly beautiful woman climbing on the back of a man who looks average and does not know whether to be jealous or sorry for him. Donna understands that Lucien flies with his wings and not his power like Sky Realm people do, so she tries to hold on to his shoulders while turning her body. However, as climbing on someone that way is clumsy, she loses her balance. Ah! But before Donna falls, Lucien quickly turns and hugs her. She instinctively hugs him, too, and wraps her legs around his waist. Before she notices it, their faces are an inch away from touching. "Got you," he comments as he smiles at her. She doesn't know what to do. Lucien's fragrant breath enters through her nose and arouses new feelings in her body. Also, she can feel his hands slowly slipping from her waist downward, which seems very dangerous. "What are you doing?" she asks as she starts to panic. "Preparing to fly, of course." He smiles teasingly. Donna can't help but regret starting that. She just wanted to provoke her little brother to lighten the mood, but she ended up being teased. "Then fly?" she asks. "People are looking at us strangely and commenting things." "What things?" Lucien makes a fake curious expression while looking at people on the street. He can clearly hear them talking about how he and Donna are a beautiful and cute couple in love. Her expression becomes more and more flushed as she wants to dig a hole to hide. "Lucy. Stop teasing me, or I'll regret having asked for your help." Alright. Despite wanting to tease Donna more to see her cute and timid reactions, Lucien flaps his wings and flies to the sky with his sister in his arms. Whoosh! For people on the street, watching an ordinary man fly is absurd. They couldn't see Lucien's wings due to his disguise, and flying at super speed is very different from how mages slowly levitate. In the sky, Donna looks down and enjoys the view of the city while hugging Lucien tightly. The feeling of flying in his arms is much better than when she is flying with Wrath or on a floating platform. The scent of Lucien, the warmth of his body, the movements of the flapping of his wings. Everything is very pleasurable for her that she fears liking it too much. He also enjoys that moment. Donna has always been someone that Lucien trusts a lot. He always saw her as a big sis like Eve, and knowing that she is now looking for his support is strangely good. Not because she needs help but because he can help her. The pleasure of being able to help his beloved sister and being someone she trusts makes him generate demonic energy with Donna. Although that amount of energy is much less significant than what he generates with his wives, especially Sophia and Amelia, it still begins to strengthen Donna. She feels the warm and pleasant energy entering her body, and she quickly understands what is going on. "So it's like this. Not only does it make me stronger, but it feels so damn good. They are so lucky to." Donna tries not to think about complicated things and just enjoys that moment. They are silent as they fly over Port Green City. Throughout the city, Lucien sees only good things and no conflict. But a place catches his eye, a big arena in the northern part of the city, where there is a fight now. Not a fight to the death, but a friendly tournament. Lucien can also see that the big arena is not finished, and he lands on top of it, on a part where there is no one now. As soon as he lands, he doesn't quickly remove his hands from Donna's waist but smiles at her while their faces are very close. So, did you like it? Donna panics while thinking that Lucien is asking about the good feelings she felt hugging him. This is not. It was not what you are thinking. Didn't you like flying with me? He asks. Flying. Donna realizes that she is the only one thinking about other things. Oh, you mean? Yes, I enjoyed flying. I'm looking forward to reaching the sky realm and being able to fly on my own. Lucien smiles and begins to move his hands slowly on Donna's waist, caressing her. And what about my demonic energy, did you like it? She blushes and takes a few steps back. It was good. So, is it that simple? I mean, how it works. He sighs and turns around, then looks at the center of the arena where two men are fighting just with fists. Well, giving my energy to someone else is as simple as that, but doing it efficiently requires a lot more. Lucy. Donna is even more embarrassed. I can't do this like Sophia and Amelia. I need your help, but there are limits that I can't cross. I will not have sex with me. He turns and smiles lovingly at her. I wasn't expecting you to do it. I don't even know if I could do it that easy. I mean, with Sophia, it was natural, but it took Amelia and me some time to be able to do it. Donna realizes that she thought so much that Lucien had adapted to their new sinful reality that she didn't think that it should also be strange and confusing for him to have sex with his sisters. But she quickly makes her intentions clear. Lucy, I love you. I really love you so much, but only as siblings, so I don't want this to change our relationship. I get it. He nods. And I'm sure we can do it. I can help you get stronger without us having to be more than siblings. Great. She smiles as she approaches the edge of the arena and watches the fight below. Lucien stands beside her. However, sex is still the most efficient way to do it. Just so you understand, last night, Sophia, Amelia, and I advanced one more layer of the Earth realm. Really? Donna is surprised, as is Wrath. Yep. He nods. I still remember all the work that Eve had to advance layers in the Earth realm. She trained all the time so hard. Father gave her so many treasures, rare foods, potions. And the bloody rose was already working inside her. He continues. Even people with high talent take several months and years to advance Earth realm layers, let alone higher realms. But we did that with a few sex sessions. This is just incredible. Donna's eyes shine as she can't help but be a little jealous of Sophia and Amelia. However, the feeling of happiness, because they are getting stronger so fast, is greater. That is really unimaginable. She comments. But Wrath and I aren't doing too badly. I think with just a little bit of your help, we won't be far behind. Lucien extends his hand to her. So tell me, how much of my help are you willing to accept? She takes his hand. Well, I guess besides sex, I don't want you to see my naked body or anything, but other than that, I think everything is fine. He uses his fingers to caress the back of her hand while using his other hand to caress her face. Then he approaches his face with hers. So, is it okay to touch? She giggles. Touch is okay. But not on those parts. Which parts? He asks in an alluring tone as he moves one of his hands up her arm and the other down her neck. Donna tries to fight the growing pleasure she has with each touch and caress of Lucien. She knows she has to be firm, or she will end up developing dangerous feelings for her little brother. You know. Don't make me regret it. She says while holding his hands, so he doesn't do anything bold. Lucien chuckles and, while he has his hands held, moves his face even closer to hers. Their lips are dangerously close, and they can feel each other's breath well. And kiss? He asks in a soft tone. Kiss. That word echoes in Donna's mind as she can't stop imagining her lips touching Lucian's. Somehow, she can already say that feeling would be one of the best things she has ever experienced. And at the same time, she fears becoming addicted to kissing him just as she is already becoming addicted to being caressed by him. Damn. This is so hard. And so good. Yes, kiss. He says. Kissing is a great way to have pleasure and is very efficient in generating demonic energy. Donna continues to look into Lucian's eyes, but she knows that their lips are getting closer and closer and a few millimeters from touching, which makes her heart beat faster and faster. To prevent that but not back off, she moves her face forward and a little to the side, rubbing her lips on Lucian's cheek. Can it be like this? Kisses on the cheek. Lucian's lips also touch Donna's face, so he licks her cheek. That would be very inefficient. Come on, you have to let me help you. The sensation of his tongue on her cheek awakens new feelings in Donna's body. She feels her body getting warmer while her mouth starts to salivate, begging her to taste that. So. It has to be on the L. She can't even pronounce those words. A part of Donna feels very ashamed for wanting to kiss her brother on the lips. However, another part is eager for that. Lucian manages to move one of his hands to her face and gently holds her chin, preventing her from escaping his lips again. Then he slowly begins to approach their lips. Yes. This has to be here. Donna tries to think of the various ways that would be wrong, but she finds none now. In fact, she remembers the conversation she had with Eve and how she said that they had to accept their new life, a sinful life. I wanted this. I came to him. For him to help me. She thinks as she starts to move her lips towards his. So this is going to be our first kiss. I wonder how it will be. She is sure they will kiss, but as soon as their lips are about to touch, Lucian stops moving while holding her face. He smiles teasingly. I know you are eager for this, but anything we do without us having a soul contract is going to be very ineffective. Donna gets embarrassed and frustrated, so she pushes Lucian back. And why the hell didn't you say that before? Stupid brother. Chapter 460. Emotions out of control. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lucian laughs as he enjoys Donna's angry and embarrassed expression. He loves her straightforward and honest personality, and that makes teasing her even better. Okay, don't get mad, sis. He tries to calm her down. Just explain to me what I need to do. She asks. Well, I think this is like the soul contract that the sins and we have, but not even Lust is really sure about it. He explains. Donna looks at the red tattoo on her shoulder. Her tattoo looks like burning thorns. And for that, I need to have your tattoo, right? Yep. Lucian nods while lifting his shirt, showing the purple tribal tattoo on his low belly area. It has grown a little since it all started. While looking at his tattoo, Donna can't help but notice how sexy Lucian's belly looks. His 6-pack abs are fucking hot, perfect from every angle. She starts to blush even more while her eyes are fixed on her brother's body. And Lucian doesn't miss the opportunity to tease her. Wanna touch? Donna looks into Lucian's eyes with a strange expression, a mixture of shyness and nervousness. What kind of question is that? Lucian smiles. Okay, let's do it. After that, you will be able to use the extra time in the purple world, and we will be able to communicate mentally, which is a great advantage in combat. Yes, that looks really good. She agrees but then makes a thoughtful expression. What exactly do we have to do? He approaches her slowly, and despite trusting him, she fears not controlling her own feelings. Then he comes in front of her, takes her hand, and starts to move it towards his belly. Let's do it this way. He holds Donna's hand over his tattoo and can even hear her heartbeat speeding up. Is this really necessary? Donna doesn't think that is right, but she also has no idea what to do. Not really, Lucien responds as he releases her hand. I just thought it would be fun to do like this. Donna's face turns completely red, and she slaps his chest with her other hand. Damn, Lucy. This is no joke for me. Hey. Lucien makes a fake expression of pain but then starts to smile. This is no joke to me either. I'm just making it more efficient. How will teasing me make it more efficient? She quickly asks. He points down, and she realizes that she is still touching his belly. That feeling is so good that she doesn't want to stop touching him. Also, she feels pleasant and powerful energy entering her body, making her even more reluctant to put some distance between their bodies. It looks like you really wanted to touch. He comments in a teasing tone. Donna quickly tries to pull her hand back, but Lucien acts quickly and holds her wrist. You don't have to be afraid of me, I'm not going to eat you. Unless you want it, of course. As she gets embarrassed and confused, she feels an explosion of energy entering her body. That pleasurable and powerful energy feels so familiar. She doesn't even think about resisting, and neither does her body want it, so Donna lets Lucien's energy enter her body and start strengthening her. You look so different, Lucy. She comments as she remembers when he was just a sad little kid. Lucien uses his other hand to caress her face while his tattoo begins to appear on her low belly area. I changed, you changed. Yet, I am still me, and you are still you. She smiles at him while using her other hand to caress his arm. I don't hate these changes. In fact, we needed to change in order to change our shitty lives. Exactly. He brings her face closer to his, bringing their lips closer. That's what we're doing now. Changing our shitty lives for the better. To the better. She repeats before their lips touch for the first time. At the top of that arena, in the center of that city area, at that moment, Donna takes a big step towards a better future with Lucien. He doesn't make any sudden movements and just gently moves his lips onto hers. She is immediately addicted to the tender warmth and texture of his lips, as well as the sweet taste that slowly enters her mouth, making her want to kiss more and more. Along with the incredible pleasure of that affectionate act, Donna feels more and more energies coming from Lucien's body in strengthening her. That is very similar to when she made the soul contract with Wrath. But instead of giving her soul to an unknown demon because she had no option, Donna is now strengthening her bonds with her beloved brother because she wants to not only get stronger but accept a new life alongside him. This is so good. I want more. Much more. She thinks as she squeezes his hand and shoulder. Despite not having heard her thoughts, Lucien quickly understands what she wants due to the connection between them being formed and the reactions of her body. Even her body is always so straightforward. So adorable. He thinks as he runs his hand over her arm before placing it around his waist. Then he hugs her waist with his other arm and pulls her body even closer to his, pressing her nice breasts against his chest while kissing her lips more intensely. She can't help but let out a soft moan while feeling so much pleasure. Lucien uses that moment to stick his tongue inside Donna's mouth. She is startled at first, but that wonderful taste quickly fills her mouth. The gentle and passionate movements of his tongue inside her mouth quickly make her more addicted to kissing. Her tongue, completely inexperienced, quickly follows the movements of his tongue, wanting to learn how to make both of them have more pleasure. Donna squeezes Lucien's back, wanting to bring their bodies closer together. He moves his hand to the back of her neck, sticking his fingers within her hair and moving her head along with his. That kiss is as good for her as it is for him. In fact, it is so good for Lucien that he starts to lose control over his feelings. Memories of the many times Donna was with him, supporting him with her love, come to his mind. He realizes that he didn't give her enough importance all this time, that he didn't see her as close to him as Eve and Sophia, although she always loved him as much as they did. He strokes her body more and more passionately while his tongue moves madly inside her mouth. That stops being about helping her get stronger and starts to be about him demonstrating his feelings for her. Making it clear that he loves her very much. My sister. I love you. So much. His possessive feelings start to grow equally, making him want to have her in his arms all the time, only for him. Donna can't handle so much pleasure and power. Her body gets more addicted by the second as it begs for more of Lucien's affection. But her mind is clear. She realizes what's going on and doesn't know how to react. Him. Why? A part of Donna is thrilled to cause such a reaction in Lucien. But most of her doesn't like that, and she is ashamed for abusing her little brother. Lucy. No, we shouldn't. She tries to push his body back, but he seems dominated by desire, a state that she is also in. And even with her body craving him so badly, Donna manages to keep her conscience. She focuses on her anger at her father for messing that much with her siblings and making them become sinful demons. Using that anger to keep her from getting lost in pleasure, she keeps asking Lucien to stop. Brother. Don't do this. What? Lucien realizes that he has lost control of his emotions and quickly releases Donna while stepping back. Lust, what the hell just happened? He is confused. She quickly explains. It's the bloody rose, its energy is getting stronger and has activated your possessive desires more than ever. He looks at Donna with a regretful expression. I'm so sorry. Sister. Donna is very flushed, but she doesn't look sorry as she smiles at him. Don't be sorry, you didn't force me on anything. I should apologize for letting this get out of hand, after all, I'm your older. Before she finishes speaking, wrath materializes her body between them and looks at her with an annoyed expression. What the hell are you doing? Now Donna is confused. Damn. Didn't you notice how strong we were getting? Wrath asks. There was so much anger, pleasure, chaotic energies. Even the bloody rose's energy seemed aroused. So why did you have to stop at the best part, that while Donna feels bad for the feelings she had when she was kissing Lucien, he walks toward Wrath. Hey, go easy. Pa. When Lucien tries to touch Wrath's shoulder, she turns and slaps his hand. Damn you, boy. Why did you stop when it was getting really good? I didn't expect you to be such a coward. He was already angry with himself for losing control of his feelings, so Lucien gets even angrier due to Wrath's selfish and arrogant attitude. Yet, he tries to control himself and speaks to her in a calm tone. That is not so simple. Look how Donna is, she is not comfortable going that far now, so why force it? It would not help at all. Wrath is unable to understand Lucien's point of view. Her life has always been about her and her sisters doing everything to strengthen their people. She has seen a lot of corruption and destruction because of power, and she doesn't understand why people would give up that for things as a little discomfort. You don't understand, boy. She says in an annoyed tone. People kill and destroy everyone, even their own families, for power and resources. But you and your sisters have an unlimited source of power here, yet, don't you want to use it? I don't care about any shit you say. He quickly responds. All I care about is the sake of my family, and forcing it now is not going to do my sister any good. While Lucien and Wrath argue, Donna looks at them thoughtfully. She is trying to understand what is happening, with them, with her, and with her feelings. Part of her feels guilty and ashamed. But another part of her feels better than ever. That good feelings continue to grow as she sees her beloved brother facing Wrath for her. You don't fucking know anything. Wrath points the finger at Lucien's face. A very powerful enemy could appear at any moment and slaughter everyone you love in front of you. Yet, you don't seem to be trying your best to get stronger. Lucien doesn't understand why Wrath looks so angry even though Lust is explaining to him that getting stronger is very difficult, and Wrath is angry because he didn't continue the kiss with Donna, ignoring the power that the entire universe would kill to have. What did you want me to do? Did you want me to force my sister into it? That power cannot be forced. You are crazy. He speaks in a mocking tone. Wrath's body glows red while her eyes look like flames. She quickly materializes one of her soul weapons, a large greatsword, and points it at his face. Don't call me crazy ever again. She speaks in a furious tone. Don't do it, Lucien. She is just angry and frustrated. You have to control your emotions, don't be like her. Lust tries to calm Lucien down. But it is too late. While Wrath is furious with Lucien and Donna because they seem to ignore their potential, he is furious with Wrath for treating his sister as a weapon. Blink he teleports behind Wrath, and although she reacts quickly, he holds her by the neck before she can make any move. She tries to dematerialize her body, but the first thing Lucien does when he touches her is starting to confine her energy using a lot of his own demonic energy. Then he lifts her by the neck as he smiles provocatively. I wanted to do this for a long time. Chapter 461. Wrath vs. Lucien, 1/2, you are listening at NovelFull.audio. Wrath can see the anger in Lucien's eyes as he chokes her. Well, as her body is made up of energy, she can modify her organs to avoid having to breathe. And she also understands why he is angry. Donna is his sister, and he doesn't want her to go through difficult situations. But all she has done with Donna is to prepare her for the harsh situations that will come because their lives will never be easy. Go on, boy. She speaks. Break my neck if it will make you feel better. Yet, you seem to be playing with your sisters while you should be taking it seriously. Lucien maintains a firm grip on Wrath's neck, confining her energy. I'm taking this seriously, but you can't see it because you don't understand my methods. Bullshit. She responds. Maybe I don't understand much about Lust's powers, but I know how my host should act, and this hesitant and shameful attitude is not how she really is. So. He tightens her neck even more. We have to solve this somehow. Lucy. Donna quickly approaches him and puts a hand on his shoulder. You don't have to do it for me. Wrath smiles. Oh no, he doesn't want to do it for you but for himself, because of his anger, the anger he has at me since we met, and he realized I beat you. Donna doesn't know what to do. She understands that the only thing Wrath values is strength, and she respects that. But she didn't want to involve Lucien in that. She knew he would try to do something to Wrath if he found out about that. But he is her little brother, so she is the one who should take care of him. Also, all of their siblings have to deal with their own sins, and needing help would make Donna feel ashamed. Brother, you don't have to do it, I can handle Wrath, I just need time. She begs. I'm sure you can do it on your own. He smiles at her. And you are going to do it soon, but now I have to do it for myself, as she said. Then. Donna takes a step back while leaving Lucien and Wrath to solve their thing alone. Lust also wants to support Lucien, but she knows Wrath well and how violent she is, in addition to her special abilities, so she quickly warns him mentally. Don't expect an easy fight. Wrath is much stronger than she looks. She explains. Meanwhile, Wrath holds Lucien's forearm. Do it, boy, I know you want to unleash all your fury on me. Why do you want it so much? He asks as he looks into her eyes. She makes a confused expression. Didn't Lust tell you how my demonic energy works? Lucien already understood that her demonic energy comes from anger, obviously. But it looks like it's not that simple, and before he asks, Lust speaks in his mind. It is not easy to fight Wrath, especially when you attack her directly in anger, as it makes her stronger. He can't help but find that ability really amazing. People who know Wrath well understand that to fight her, they need to stay calm and defensive until she runs out of demonic energy, but that's not what Lucien wants right now. I think you understand now, right? Wrath asks as she generates more and more demonic energy due to Lucien's anger. He smiles. I don't care how much you become stronger, I will still punish you for bothering my sister. Lucien ignores Lust's advice about Wrath's powers and keeps squeezing her neck. Maybe he wouldn't do that if she were a normal person, but just like Envy, she can't break, so he doesn't have to restrain himself. And about her getting stronger with his anger, well, he expects a challenging fight. And Wrath realizes that. She can see in Lucien's eyes that he is not going to back down, he is not going to try to contain his anger even though he understands the whole situation. In part, he is very similar to Donna and Wrath, he is stubborn, straightforward, and violent sometimes. I like this, boy. Wrath smiles. If you were acting like that with Donna a minute ago, I wouldn't have to interfere. He shakes his head with a disappointed expression. You don't understand anything about relationships. In fact, you don't seem to understand anything but violence. So I'm going to speak in your language. Yeah. She speaks in a madly excited tone. Let's do it right now, patience is not one of my qualities. While maintaining his grip on Wrath's neck, Lucien smiles at Donna as he speaks in her mind. Wait just a minute, and we will be able to continue from where we stopped. Then at that moment, he hears the competitors in the center of the area finish their fight, leaving that area free. Lucien doesn't waste any more time and starts to move Wrath's body to the side. Bam smash, still confining her energy, he slams her body against a wall under construction, breaking it into many pieces of stone and dust. Then he turns her body in a 360-degree arc before throwing her down towards the center of the arena. Whoosh boom, Wrath's body hits the ground creating a crater and a cloud of dust while everyone in the arena is shocked. They didn't even see new competitors start a fight, nor did they think that level of destruction was possible because the fights there were always friendly. From the top of the arena, Lucien and Donna look at the dust cloud with thoughtful expressions. They can both feel Wrath's aura growing wildly in ways they've never seen before. Lucien. Lust exclaims in his mind while he hears a sound coming from the center of the arena. A long red chain that glows like fiery flames comes out of the dust cloud heading towards him at super speed. Just by the appearance of that chain, Lucien already knows that it is not a simple thing. But that speed is nothing to him, and he holds the sharp spike of the chain. His hand seems to burn, however, most of the damage is not to his body but to his soul. A soul weapon. More one. He thinks aloud as he feels furious energy run through his body. Lucien's inner energies quickly contain Wrath's furious energy, but Lust remains concerned as she speaks in his mind. This is just the beginning. You are very angry with her, and she is using that anger. While you were talking, she must have gotten a lot of demonic energy. As soon as Lust speaks, they hear a sinister and excited laugh come from within the dust cloud. Ha 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 ha. This is going to be fun. Then another chain appears, coming towards Lucien. And 2, 4, 10, 20. Dozens of chains like the one in his hand create a huge attack, and the massive amount of furious energy in the air disperses the cloud of dust while scaring all the watchers. The red glow of the chains reflects in Lucien's eyes as he smiles. Even using his maximum speed, he would still be surrounded by those chains that seem to be alive, so he can only use his teleport to avoid that. Ha! But he is surprised to realize that he cannot access Amelia's spatial mana inside his body. Lust realizes that and quickly explains it to him. The chain. It is confining your energies. He looks at the chain in his hand, and it is brightly shining while Wrath's massive furious energy, generated by his own anger, is now confining his energies just as he did to her. Lucien continues to smile as Wrath's chains wrap and hold his body. At the same time, he clearly sees her body in the center of the arena. She is also smiling while all those chains are coming from her hands. Get over here. Wrath exclaims and pulls on the chains, bringing Lucien's body toward the center of the arena. Donna and Lust feel a strong desire to help him, but he keeps talking to them mentally, so they don't get involved in that. Whoosh bam boom, Lucien's body hits the ground, also creating a crater. However, Wrath does not remove her chains, and due to him not having access to his demonic energies now, his disguise is broken. It's the king. Yeah, that's him. And who is that woman with him? She is so scary. Yet so beautiful. And she has wings and horns like the king. People in the arena stands are very curious to understand what is going on between Lucien and Wrath. Meanwhile, she starts to laugh and looks at him on the ground, held by her chains. So, what is it like to feel trapped? Oh, it. He maintains a relaxed expression while his energy fights against her energy within his body. Don't mind me, I'm just giving you a head start. Of course. She laughs and then kicks him right in the belly. Bam Lucien's body is thrown up while he can't help feeling angrier at Wrath, which continues to strengthen her. Bam bam, then she pulls the chains again, bringing his body to her so that she can kick him again. As she continues to kick him that way, Lucien can't help but reflect on her strength. He fought Alexa a short time ago, and it's evident that neither Pride and Eve could do that in the same way, but here he is, getting beaten up by Wrath, who should be a lot weaker than they. Well, when it comes to the sins, everything is about their demonic energies. Wrath could not have endured a fight with Alexa for more than a few seconds, as she would not have had the chance to generate so much demonic energy. Alexa has not been angry with her for a long time like Lucien, and she would not give her a chance to absorb that anger as he did. So Lucien really gave Wrath a huge head start, but he is far from losing that fight. In fact, while she is using a lot of demonic energy to confine him, he is using his own to free himself. Bam 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 bam. As the people watch Wrath repeatedly slam Lucien's body against the ground, they get confused. Everyone has heard or seen his strength in person, so they don't understand how he seems to be losing that fight. Donna also watches everything from the top of the arena. She has also been beaten up by Wrath many times, and they know how ruthless she is. Yet, Donna is confident in Lucien's strength and knows that he will start fighting for real at any moment. And when everyone starts to wonder how he is going to escape those chains, his eyes start to shine golden purple. Wrath pulls the chains again, bringing Lucien's body to her. And confident that her massive energy is confining his energy, she throws a nonchalant punch toward his face. Lucien is extremely resistant to pain, but he cannot accept being punched in the face in front of so many people who believe in him, especially his beloved sister. So that is the time to break those chains. And for that, he has to use part of all his energies. Ha! He opens his arms with all his strength, and his eyes shine brightly as Wrath's powerful chains shatter in thousands of fragments that disappear into the air. Really? Wrath knew that Lucien would break free at some point, but due to the massive amount of energy she generated with his anger, she was sure she could play with him for a few minutes. As the chains disappear into the air, Lucien and Wrath's eyes meet. He smiles before disappearing, using the teleport ability. She doesn't think twice before starting to turn around while materializing a red curved sword with a wide blade and strikes backward, believing that it will appear there. But he appears in front of her. And taking her by surprise, he quickly grabs her chin and turns her face to his. Here. Wrath feels her energy being confined again as she sees Lucien move his face toward hers. For a second, she has the crazy idea that he is going to try to kiss her. But instead of touching her lips with his, he hits his forehead on hers, very hard, enough to break her skull bones while his golden bones remain perfect. Wrath is thrown back toward the ground while her blood flies everywhere. She completely loses control of her body, which needs to be remade after that brutal blow. Chapter 462. Wrath vs. Lucien, February 2nd, you are listening at novelfull.audio. Whoa! The people in the arena are shocked as they see Wrath's body rolling on the ground while her blood splashes everywhere. While they are happy that their king does not lose that fight, they feel that something is wrong. After everything they've heard about Lucien, watching him kill a woman seems disappointing. But for Lucien, that feels freeing. The sensation of hitting Wrath is enjoyable because he sees her now not as a woman but as the demon that has been tormenting his sister. And for Wrath, that is not bad because the fact that Lucien is releasing his fury on her makes her and Donna stronger. Also, she loves a good bare hands fight. Then she quickly dematerializes her broken body and remakes a new one in front of Lucien, already attacking him with a powerful punch. Bam! He blocks that punch easily with his forearm as their eyes meet. Both are smiling excitedly. No soul weapons? He asks. Wrath quickly nods as she prefers to fight without weapons. She only used that chain because she was mad at Lucien. But since she doesn't really want to kill him, that's the best way. No demonic energy? She asks. If Lucien continues to use his massive demonic energies, no matter how angry he is, Wrath knows that she has no chance to beat him. Lucien understands that, and to make the fight fairer, he accepts her proposal. Although Wrath has to use demonic energy to maintain her physical body, she doesn't need to boost her with it, just as he doesn't need to boot himself. Whoosh! She tries to attack him with her other fist. Her speed is quite high, but even without using demonic energies, his natural speed is still high as it is his main attribute. Bam! He blocks her blow with his other forearm and quickly initiates a counterattack using his knee. He acts quickly and knees her belly. Without being able to use demonic energy to rematerialize her body, Wrath is unable to dodge that blow and is thrown up while spitting blood on his face. Her blood disrupts Lucien's vision for a second, and Wrath quickly regains control of her body. She spins in the air as she tightens both hands in one fist before hitting him in the forehead. Bam! He is hit and feels his whole head shake as he is thrown back several meters. But he regains control over his body and does a few somersaults until he stops standing. Wrath also falls to her feet, and they both look at each other as he wipes her blood on his face. While the other people in the arena watch Lucien and Wrath fight silently, at the top of the arena, Lust materializes her body beside Donna to support her. However, she doesn't seem concerned but is smiling while her confidence in her brother just increases. He's really amazing. So stubborn. Lust comments as she rolls her eyes. But regardless of what or how he wants to do something, she will always support him. In the center of the arena, Lucien licks Wrath's blood which is still close to his lips. Is this how your blood really tastes? Ha ha ha. She laughs in a bizarre way. Do you like my blood? I guess that vampire has influenced you a lot, as demons don't usually like blood. He makes a thoughtful expression. Don't you like blood? Wrath also makes a thoughtful expression and then looks at her fists, noticing some of Lucien's blood on her fingers. For some reason, she feels that she should taste his blood. Everything about him is so different and interesting that she feels that even such a bizarre experience can be worth it. She slowly brings her hand to her mouth and licks a drop of his blood. Damn! She widens her eyes when she realizes that Lucien's blood is not only the most delicious thing she's ever tasted, but it also enters her body, bringing many sorts of different energies that begin to strengthen her. Lucien starts to laugh at Wrath's shocked expression. So, did you like it? Yeah. She doesn't hesitate to tell the truth. I loved it. Then try to get more out of me. He signals to her as he smiles provocatively. Definitely. She also smiles and runs towards him. Lucien sees Wrath running and thinks of different ways to attack her, but since he doesn't want to use his abilities now, he just waits for her attack. Whoosh! Hiya! A few meters away from him, she jumps and spins her body in the air, starting a kick with the back of her foot. Bam! He blocks using his two forearms in an X-shaped position, but as that blow was really mighty, he is pushed back a few inches. Wrath already expected that and uses Lucien's block to propel herself up, performing a backflip and starting another kick with even more force. Bam 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 bam, he blocks again, but she keeps starting other kicks with incredible speed, giving him no choice but to keep defending. With each blow, Wrath injures his arms more and more as she pushes him back. Then he punches her foot in the seventh kick, causing her to lose her balance and fall. She rolls on the ground to regain her balance, but when she notices, he has already started a kick toward her head. Bam! She firms her knees and crosses her arms in front of her face, but Lucien doesn't stop and hits her brutally, breaking her block and throwing her several meters back. She tries to regain control of her body, but as soon as she stops rolling, Lucien is already in front of her. He quickly attacks, and she blocks, but he grabs her by the neck. Wrath doesn't try to fight her way free and just smiles at him as blood oozes over her face. Good. This is really good, isn't it? Lucien also smiles at her as he slowly brings her face towards his, bringing their lips closer and closer. And again, she has a strange feeling that he wants to kiss her. And even more strangely, he licks the blood that runs an inch from her lips. Yeah, this is really good. What the hell is going on? Wrath expected a lot of things from that fight, but it all was about making Lucien angrier and generating more demonic energy with that. However, he is doing bizarre things that arouse new and strange feelings inside her. He still looks upset with her, but he seems to want to drive her crazy more than releasing his anger by beating her. Wrath is furious for being confused and grabs his shoulders to get up some support and head. But his forehead hard. Bam! Lucien is thrown back by Wrath's mighty blow. His blood runs down her forehead, and she feels the strange urge to drink it again, but she doesn't do that because she doesn't want to be influenced by him or, at last, leave it obvious. He starts doing backflips as she charges against him again. She attacks more and more furiously, but he just dodges her blows using his superior agility. Whoosh 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 whoosh, with every blow Wrath misses, she gets angrier. She doesn't even care about how he and Donna were acting because all she wants now is to beat Lucien because he makes her angry. Hiya! She yells as she punches and kicks in a variety of ways, but Lucien dodges all blows. Bam! Then he counterattacks, punching her belly. But she ignored all the pain and grabbed his shoulders before using his body as support to somersault over him while using her sharp nails to tear his clothes and skin. Lucien feels a lot of pain due to Wrath's nails cutting his skin. Even though she didn't want to use demonic energy to boost her body, she couldn't stop that furious energy from entering his body. He tries to turn around, but she holds his hair in one hand and uses her nails like a blade to make a long cut on his back. His blood splashes on the ground, but he doesn't stop smiling excitedly. Then, unable to turn around, he attacks with his elbow, hitting Wrath in the face with a strong blow. Bam! She takes a step back but holds back the pain. Then he turns and attacks while she attacks again. Bam 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 bam! They stop trying to dodge each other's attacks and start focusing only on the offensive. Lucien could use his agility advantage to avoid getting hit, but he doesn't do that as well, as she doesn't use the massive amount of demonic energy she's generating to her advantage. The truth is that both Lucien and Wrath are enjoying that moment, and so are balancing their power to make that fight last as long as possible. They continue exchanging brutal blows and covering the entire floor in the center of the arena with their blood. Then she tries to kick his face again, but he holds her foot. Bad girl. He smiles at her and then pulls her by the foot before slamming her body against the ground. Bam! Crack! That blow is so mighty that it makes the entire arena shake, creating a small crater with Wrath's body as all her bones crack. She spits out some blood that drops on Lucien's face, so he smiles and licks it off. He can feel her furious energy in her blood, and it runs madly inside his body. While it's bizarre, it's also pleasant. Before Wrath recovers, Lucien pulls her by the foot again, bringing her body up in an arc that goes over his body before he slams her against the ground on the other side. Bam! Crack! Her body creates another crater while her bones are broken. She can't even move and prepares to rematerialize a new body, but Lucien pulls her by the foot again. He flaps his wings, flying a few meters up as he pulls her body. He wants to get a bigger impulse to slam her body against the floor with even more force. And Wrath quickly understands that. A part of her wants to rematerialize her body, but another part wants to feel that brutal blow. She wants Lucien to release all his anger and resentment on her. He's so crazy. She thinks while she can't help but like Lucien more and more. Even though that only strengthens her, he's not holding back and giving her all his anger. In the air, Lucien smiles and rocks Wrath's body downward as he flaps his wings in the opposite direction, propelling him downward. Bam! Smash! He slams Wrath's body against the floor with all his original strength, with no demonic energy. Despite that being far from his maximum strength, that blow is very powerful, enough to create a several-meter crater with Wrath's body, which turns into flesh paste in contact with rocks below the arena's floor. Her blood, bones, and guts splash everywhere, reaching even the people in the arena bleachers. Most of them start puking because of that brutal scene, while everyone is perplexed. Yet, most of Wrath's blood falls over Lucien's body like a bizarre rain. He looks up as he feels outstanding to have released all that anger he had at Wrath because she was pushing Donna so hard. Not only that, but beating Wrath to the content of his heart has also helped him release some of the anger he's been feeling at not knowing if his mother is his ally or enemy, as well as all the other frustrations he has. It's not like he could just beat someone to feel good, but Wrath fought him in a way that allowed him to feel so good, much more than he thought to be possible. And that's because of her demonic energy, which he feels running madly through his body as he drinks the drops of her blood running down his lips. And because of that, he can't help but feel grateful to her. As Wrath's blood finishes falling to the ground and people are still trying to figure out what just happened, she rematerializes her body in the sky above Lucien, flapping her wings in the air as she smiles at him. Damn! That was so fucking good. She comments as she flies towards him. Lucien smiles as he sees her starting a powerful punch toward him. Then he flies up, also punching. Bam! Their fists meet in the air, creating a powerful force wave that raises a cloud of dust. Within that dust cloud, Lucien quickly uses his other hand to grab Wrath's neck again. She doesn't even try to fight because she wants so much to feel anything he wants to do to her. He flies down, slamming her body again against the ground. But this time, he doesn't do that too hard but presses her body below his. And unlike any attack Wrath expects, Lucien shocks her again, kissing her lips so madly. The hell? She gets more confused than ever. Chapter 463. How to Deal with Anger. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Lucien has never felt anything like this before. He's still mad at Wrath for the way she treats his sister, though he also understands how her nature forces her to be that way. But to punish her, he can't just beat her or even make her mad, as that's like pleasing her. So he thinks about messing up with her all the ways he can. Of course, the first option that he thinks is messing with her feminine feelings. He has been teasing her with subtle stimulations since they started fighting, still releasing some of his anger on her in a mix of emotions. But as soon as he saw her smile at him after he exploded her body, he realized how crazy she really is. And all the negative feelings he had for her became even less insignificant. And new feelings rose in Lucien's heart. He still wants to mess up with her, but he also wants to take her to him and take care of her like he takes care of all his wives. So he pressed her body against the ground and kissed her madly. Without giving her any chance to defend against that sneak attack, he forced his tongue into her mouth and messed with her even more. Damn! What are you doing? Wrath is more confused than furious as she tries to run away from Lucien. But he uses his massive demonic energy to confine hers and keep moving his tongue inside her mouth. She doesn't know what to do or how to react. Despite having a lot of knowledge in her mind, Wrath doesn't remember kissing. In fact, like the other sins, her memory is very vague, and she has no idea what that should feel like. But she can't deny that her body is enjoying that. The smell and taste of Lucien's mouth are highly addictive, as is his blood, and she feels her body heating up more and more. Even though she's fighting that, her tongue really wants to move alongside his, just like her lips want to suck the nectar of his mouth. His grip on her neck hurts a little, but that's also very pleasurable, as is the rough touch of his other hand squeezing one of her breasts. Wrath is literally going crazy with pleasure. But not having any control over that makes her even more mad and furious. Mainly because whoever is doing that to her is the boy she criticizes so much. Lucien, on the other hand, isn't sure what he's feeling. Wrath doesn't seem to want that, but her body isn't fighting like her mind is. He doesn't feel like he's forcing her onto something she doesn't want, but it's still weird to be so rough on a woman. Then he quickly stops forcing her body to the ground but still keeps his hand on her neck. Has he stopped? Wrath feels she's free and also regains control over her demonic energy. But Lucien doesn't stop kissing and squeezing her body so roughly. While thinking of her next actions, Wrath remains immobile, or rather, her lips begin to move on their own. She quickly misses that pleasurable pain of having Lucien gripping her neck, as well as the feeling of being totally under his power. What the hell is happening to me? She realizes that those new feelings are as good as they are scary. And for the first time in a really, really long time, she's afraid, scared of how good he can make her feel. Meanwhile, the dust cloud begins to fall, and people in the arena can see Lucien kissing Wrath. How? They are perplexed as they have seen Wrath being mortally wounded several times and even her body being turned into meat paste. Yet, she is very, very alive and kissing. And at the same time, they are all happy that their king is exactly like the legends say. Someone who conquers all women, even the fiercest ones. On the top of the arena, Lust is smiling while Donna has a shocked expression on her face. How is that even possible? I honestly don't know. Lust comments. I shouldn't doubt him, but Wrath. She's so crazy. Donna continues. I was sure he could beat her, but this. It's madness beyond limits. Ha 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 ha. Lust starts to laugh. Look at the pathetic expression on her face. She's always so imposing and violent, but now she doesn't even know how to handle a kiss, and she's freaking out. Donna can't help but laugh too. After everything that Wrath has done to her and all the anger she feels, seeing her freaking out because of a kiss is really nice. Though her lips are jealous because she's not the woman Lucien is kissing right now. And despite wanting to just enjoy the scene of Wrath in her most vulnerable moment, Donna jumps off the top of the arena and lands in front of them. Brother, are you alright? When she hears Donna's voice, Wrath gets even more embarrassed. She just scolded them for the hesitant way they were acting and for not taking every chance of getting stronger. But now it is she who is hesitating to receive all the power Lucien is giving her, whether through his anger or other means that she doesn't understand. She and Lucien's eyes meet as he slowly stops kissing her lips. Wrath is relieved that he's stopping, but her lips quickly start to miss his mouth as her neck misses his grip. In fact, her entire body already seems to be dependent on his. Unable to deal with all those feelings, she runs away, dematerializing her body in returning to Donna's soul. Don't say anything about that. Wrath quickly speaks into Donna's mind before falling into deathly silence. Lucien gets up with Donna's help as he fixes his clothes, and Lust wipes the blood off his face. I'm fine, but I can't say the same for Wrath. She seemed to be enjoying everything that happened. Lust comments as she smiles teasingly. Hee hee. Donna giggles. That was so amazing, brother, you not only beat her but also messed that much with her mind. I bet she'll go a few days without pissing me off. He caresses Donna's face. I can repeat that before she thinks about making trouble for you again. Yeah, that would be. Donna's first thought is that seeing Lucien messing with Wrath again would be good. But then she realizes that watching him kiss another woman is not good at all while being kissed by him is incredibly good. What am I thinking? She starts to blame herself for thinking about enjoying that when she should only get his help to get stronger. There is something wrong. Lucien asks as he sees the concerned expression on his sister's face. No, no. Donna quickly shakes her head. But she is even more concerned that her thoughts are obvious. So to hide her flushed expression, she quickly hugs Lucien and presses her face against his chest. Thank you, brother. I'm so grateful that you're by my side. Protecting me. And Lucien is surprised by Donna's reaction. He understands that she is experiencing a lot of different feelings right now. But she always looks so strong and steady, but now she's acting like a cheerful young girl. And that's amazing. He really wants to see her always happy that way and not so tense and mad as before. So he also hugs her and strokes her hair and back. Don't thank me, sister. Helping you is my duty, and I'm grateful that I can do it. He speaks in a loving tone. While hugging him tightly, Donna again can enjoy his devilishly pleasant smell. She rubs her nose against his clothes as she keeps hugging him so no one can steal that moment from her. She can't stop those new feelings from growing quickly. And the most predominant emotion in her heart begins to influence her as always. Anger. She feels anger, first at wrath for attacking Lucien and yet receiving her kiss. At the same time, she starts to feel angry at Emilia because she always acted so mean to him and not only received so many kisses from him but all his love to the point that she became his wife. And why not be angry at Sophia too? Why should a sister develop such feelings for her brother? And I bet she started feeling it for a long time. What a naughty girl. What about lust? How could Donna not be mad at her for being the demon who stole her beloved brother's soul? And she also stole his first time. His purity. Anger at her mother for choosing to protect her people by abandoning her, anger at her father for being an asshole, anger at the Pope for wanting to destroy them, anger at so many people. But right now, as she's being hugged by Lucien and smelling his scent, that endless rage inside her heart can't hurt her. Even those feelings that were so destructive and toxic couldn't stop her from feeling so good. All the people she's angry at aren't there in Lucien's warm, fragrant arms. Also, while Lucien is with her, Donna feels they can do anything, including punishing those who made her so angry. Beat. Kill. Those thoughts seem like child's play while Lucien is so creative at messing up with anyone. While Donna's thoughts are going through a revolution, and her body feels so good in Lucien's arms, he looks at all those people in the arena gazing at them. That kind of show is not something those people have ever seen or heard about. They can't understand that kind of extreme violence, and they don't understand how Wrath survived after that. They shouldn't be afraid of Lucien as he is their king. But there they are, staring at their beautiful women, which is definitely not wise. And Lucien can see the fear in those people's eyes. Then he friendly smiles and waves at them. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Also, sorry for damaging your arena. Whoosh. While people still don't know how to react, Lucien flaps his wings and flies to the sky with Donna in his arms. In the sky, he keeps stroking his cute sister. Do you want to go back to the castle? No. She quickly responds in a shy tone, which is quite different from her usual manners. I mean, let's just fly like this a little longer, okay? Sure. Lucien quickly responds. We have a few hours before lunch, so why now enjoy this time? Just don't resist my energy, and let it strengthen you. She makes a cute sound of agreement as she continues to hug him tightly. Not only do they fly over the city so that Lucien sees how Portgreen's people are doing, but he also takes her to the Purple World, and they do a tour around the house. He shows her every part of the house and helps her choose a single bedroom. Lucien can see that the relationship with Donna will take a long time to mature, but having her accept his affection as loving siblings is already pretty good. Due to the Purple World time difference, they spend 5 hours just enjoying each other before heading back to the castle. During that time, Wrath didn't speak a single word or even make any sound. But the sin of anger continued to watch Lucien's every interaction with Donna as he tried to understand her own confused feelings. Arriving at the castle, the other girls woke up, and everyone gathered for lunch to celebrate Kara's birthday again and also say goodbye to everyone who won't follow Lucien's group for more adventures. They had a majestic feast, and then the magic stone ships set sail in the skies again, leaving new legends among the people who admire their king and his many queens so badly. Chapter 464. Growing Hunger. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Above the sea, east of Port Green, the stone ships fly eastward. And on the main ship, Lucien relaxes on a large sofa with his girls, enjoying the view. Naked, naturally. On his lap is Rose now, enjoying her turn with pats, kisses, and everything else she's entitled to. And despite being smiling, she can't hide her concerns from Lucien. Then, while both of them think about the same person, she appears majestic, beautiful, and with a charming smile, as always. Daisy, of course. She walks to the front of the sofa while her eyes are fixed on Lucien and Rose. In her hands, there is a bag and a glass bottle filled with a green liquid. Ahem. She makes a sound to get attention as they seem very focused on touching and kissing each other. In fact, she can't stop looking at their lips touching and their hands caressing each other. For some reason, that makes her uncomfortable, and at the same time, it arouses those energies in the deepest part of her body, her blood nascent. Oh, Daisy, my beloved mother. Law. Lucien stops kissing Rose and smiles at her. But Rose doesn't stop kissing his face and caressing his cock. She doesn't want to think about possible problems, and only the pleasure Lucien gives her leaves her mind blank and her body totally relaxed. I finished this. Well, it's not much, but it's the best I can do now, and... Daisy starts talking as she shows him the bottle. However, Rose's actions make her increasingly uncomfortable. Ahem. She makes an even louder sound and frowns, clearly trying to get Rose's attention. Lucien realizes that Rose is acting strangely toward her mother. Due to the deep connections they have, he can understand that she fears Daisy will hurt her father. She fears that just being around him will be enough to change the mature vampire's feelings, ruining her marriage. And despite knowing that it wouldn't be Lucien's or Daisy's fault, Rose can't help but be angry. She loves her father and doesn't want to see him end up like all men who get in the way of the handsome devil. But not knowing what to do yet, Lucien kisses Rose's forehead and gets up from the sofa as he materializes clothes. Going for something more casual and comfortable, he makes baggy leather pants, leather boots, and an open leather jacket, which reveal his whole incredibly sexy chest. Let me see it. He speaks as he picks up the bottle of green liquid and walks to the edge of the ship. Rose looks at Lucien's back as she pouts, and Daisy looks at her and shakes her head. Spoiled girl. Then she walks after Lucien as he analyzes the liquid in the bottle. He can feel life energy coming from that liquid, which is very similar to a healing potion like those he made using an ingredient that only he has. Will this work? He asks. She nods. Yes. I made as many as I could with the life crystals you gave me. These potions will prevent people from being influenced by the life crystals inside the mine for a week. Great. Lucien smiles at her. It'll be nice to leave some troops mining while we go to your house. We can't waste time while my sisters are out there alone. Daisy can't help but like Lucien more and more. No matter how strong he is or how many things are going on around him, he is always thinking, oh, his family's sake. We won't be long there. I just need to get a few things, and we can go back to the mine and remove all the crystals until we free the portal. She explains. Lucien looks at her with a thoughtful expression. It's okay if you need some time to convince your husband to come with us. Daisy makes a confused expression. What do you mean by coming with us? You're coming with us to Blue Star, right? He sarcastically asks because it's obvious she's already determined to do that. So I thought it would be natural for him to come with us to be with you. She looks back at Rose. But of course, she could hear their conversation if she wanted to, yet she's not doing it, she's talking to the other girls. Still, Daisy speaks to Lucien in a softer tone. I don't think he would want to go to another world. I mean, he's the right hand of the king of our nation and has a lot of responsibilities. The people need him, and... Is the people more important than his family? Lucien asks. I mean, we're going to another world, this isn't like a tour in another country or anything like that. Daisy doesn't know how to explain to Lucien about Heike's patriotic personality. Also, for her, it's also not comfortable to have someone weak like him by her side all the time, as that would be more problematic than pleasurable. Why do you care so much about it? She asks. Sorry if I sound nosy. He comments. Well, you know, this journey could turn out to be longer than we expected. My sisters are in that world just like the Phoenix, so I'm not going back without them, even if it takes months or years. I don't think that would be a problem. Daisy doesn't see that as a problem because she no longer feels any desire to be around Heike. Lucien notices the sad glow in her eyes and is sorry for her. Well, I shouldn't intrude on your relationship, I just want the best for Rose and for you too, Daisy. I'm sure you're looking forward to telling him how you are now healed. He continues. You're going to need to drink blood more often now, right? That's one more reason for you to have a partner willing to make a blood pact with you. Several things come to Daisy's mind as she reflects on Lucien's words. She feels her bloodlust growing more and more, even than it was before if she had suffered that damage in her blood nascent. And she doesn't think that's negative. It's normal for a vampire to like blood, and she's not ashamed of that. But she knows Heike never liked that part of her. And she has no desire to tell him that the vampire side of her is stronger than ever. She also agrees with Lucien that her partner must be willing to make a blood pact with her, after all, that is one of her most basic needs. Yet, she doesn't think Heike will be willing to do it, or even if she wants it anymore. Still, she doesn't want to make those thoughts clear so as not to hurt Rose's feelings. So, she smiles at Lucien. You're right, I'm going to talk to him about it. After all, if I leave him alone for too long, he might find a woman more beautiful than me and abandon me. She laughs, clearly hiding her true feelings. Lucien sighs as he approaches her. Then he puts a hand on her shoulder. That's impossible. Daisy blushes as she thinks he's praising her by saying that it's impossible for Heike to find a woman more beautiful than her. But then she gets a little disappointed with his next words. You know, you have been married for so long and have a daughter, so I don't think something like that could mess up your marriage. Yeah, sure. She comments as she walks to the edge of the ship and looks at the horizon. Don't worry about that, I'll solve it out. Then she gets surprised when she feels him approach her from behind and bump his hand on her arm. What is he doing? Daisy starts to imagine many things but again feels silly when all Lucien does is take the bag of bottles off her hand. I'm going to need it. He comments in an amused tone. He knows how his actions can influence women, but he can't resist teasing them sometimes. Certainly. She quickly comments while not looking at him. She definitely doesn't want him to see her embarrassed expression. I won't bother you more. Lucien smiles as he speaks in a loving tone. You never bother me, mother.in.law. Then he walks back to the girls, but he speaks again after walking a few meters. If you need anything, just let me know. I'm always willing to help you. Daisy's lips curve into a beautiful smile as she shakes her head, not knowing why. She tries to think of her husband, but every second she spends with Lucien, seeing how he treats their wives, makes Heike's actions look worse. He's not a bad husband. In fact, he always treated her very well. But Lucien treats all his wives like queens. He pays attention to all their feelings and is always by their side to make them feel better, protected, more special, more loved. Why am I thinking these things? Daisy starts banging her forehead against the edge of the ship. Meanwhile, Lucien goes back to his girls and spends some more time with them before flying to the other ships and giving those life mana potions to 100 troops. He also gives those 100 women an extra shot of special milk and a brief moment of pleasure as a reward for leaving them mining while his group heads to the eastern continent, where Daisy's house is. But when thinking about that, he gets a little concerned. He and his girls had to fight mutant sharks the last time they went to that mine, so he fears there might be other dangers lurking in that area. Do you think we should leave more troops in the mine? Eve asks Lucien while he is commenting on that. Maybe some of the stronger girls should stay too. Pride comments. Lucien doesn't feel good about separating from the girls. He knows bad things can happen anytime while he's away from his loved wives. Also, he doesn't want to stop strengthening them as the opponents they face always seem to be getting more dangerous. As he thinks about that, Sophia flies towards him and hugs him from behind. Sloth and I talked about it, and although I don't want to leave your side, I think I'd better stay and wait for you here. He caresses and kisses her arm. Are you sure about it? Yeah. She answers and then explains. I've been getting stronger very quickly with you, but Sloth thinks we shouldn't miss the chance to sleep inside a life crystal mine. That will be very beneficial to my life, mana, and our demonic energy will prevent any negative effects. Sloth materializes her body and nods. So we can take care of the troops here too. Lucien is totally confident of Sophia and Sloth's abilities, so he might be more relaxed than he would be by leaving some of his less powerful wives there. Yet, he looks at Eve with a thoughtful expression. All right, I'll wait here with Sophia. Eve smiles. Great. That way, I can go without worrying so much. He comments and then turns around and starts kissing Sophia's lips. But I'm still going to be upset about being away from my love. I will miss you so much, so don't take too long. She speaks while kissing his face several times. As they create a small world of their own, Lust interrupts to advise him. I think the same goes for Galana and Galena. The raw energy of mystic crystals doesn't do much good even for people with that affinity. Still, your demonic energy inside them prevents negative effects, so staying with Sophia inside the mine can be very beneficial for them as well. The elven mother and daughter pair pout as they think about getting away from Lucien. But on the other hand, they are excited to get stronger and be able to help him even more. Lucien doesn't really like to be apart from his loved ones, but the group splits again as he heads to the continent known as the Freelands. The plan is to take a quick journey until there and an even quicker one to come back. Chapter 465. I've already seen this scene. You're listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 465. I've already seen this scene. The sound of a whip hitting bare skin echoes through the streets of Petra, the capital of the Camblia Empire. Dozens of people of different races make sorry and afraid expressions, but they keep working, carrying stones and other materials to rebuild the damage done to the city by Donna's fight against the Shit-Dragons. Those people are slaves, naturally. And those soldiers treat them like garbage. That's life, not just in that place but in most of the universe. The stronger ones rule, and the weaker serve them. Look there, Captain. A soldier lowers the whip while pointing at the sky. The captain, a tall man in heavy armor, looks up at the sky and sees strange objects on the horizon. What the hell is that? Mystic beasts. Another soldier asks as even the slaves look up at the sky with curious expressions. Whatever it is, they could be hostile. The captain comments and then orders his soldiers. Notify the king and the lords now. Yes, sir. Many soldiers run towards the great castles of Petra, the houses of the lords, as well as the biggest one, the royal castle. Everyone in town can see the mysterious things in the sky and quickly alert their leaders. In the sky, Lucien and his groups look out over the incredible city of Petra. Larger than Port Green, the capital of the former Light Empire, and also the capital of the Alliance, that city is the biggest and most beautiful city Lucien has ever seen. Hundreds of meters surrounded by a giant wall, large buildings, especially the majestic castles, and a lake in the center of the city impressed Lucien and most of his girls. While Daisy doesn't really feel something special for Petra, Rose's eyes have a gentle gleam. She can't help but have good feelings for that city as it was the only home she knew before Lucien and their Purple World's house. Donna, on the other hand, frowns as she looks at the city, specifically at the slaves. I hate this damn place. What happened? Lucien quickly asks while Daisy makes a concerned expression. Look at this shit. Donna points to the slaves. It's always the same shit. They try to make it in our world, and our dad, despite being an asshole, helps our moms not to let our people end up like this. Ah, the Silver Legion. Lucien remembers that his homeworld is at war, and the stronger half keeps trying to enslave the weaker one. That's why Michael, his father, united many peoples by taking influential women as his wives. And so they were born, the future protectors of the kingdom, living weapons, and blah, blah, blah. Lucien doesn't give a damn about that. All he cares about is the sake of his family. And even though he sometimes kills racists or other stupid people, he does that because it's easy, and they are on his way. Yet, all his actions are for the benefit of his loved ones, while things like helping the weak and innocent are not part of his goals. The weak cannot protect themselves, either from other people or from nature itself, Daisy comments. That's the way it is, not just here but everywhere. Not everywhere. Lust comments. As the girls talk, Lucien notices that most of the slaves are demi-humans or dark-skinned people, unlike Petra's original people. Who are they? He asks Rose. People from southern tribes. She responds quickly. Daisy quickly goes on to explain. When I arrived here, this entire continent was in chaos. There was a war between hundreds of individual tribes. But Heike and his group wanted to unify those tribes, creating a single kingdom. But they didn't have the power to do that. She continues. So, as he helped me when I was weaker, I helped him and his friends reach the mortal realm, giving them the power to start unifying the tribes. Did you fight these people? Lucien is curious that even in her weakest state, Daisy could slaughter thousands of Zero-Realm people with her magic. She quickly shakes her head. All the people I killed were to protect my family, but I didn't join these wars. Helping my family and friends was all I did because killing these weak people with my power wouldn't be right. It makes sense. He comments. So Daisy continues. As I've only helped several people reach the mortal realm, the conquest of the continent is not going really quickly. The Empire rules the northern half of the continent, but there are still hundreds of tribes in the southern part. Then she looks at the slaves. As the Empire expands further south, the people who survive the battles join it, most often as slaves. Lucien notices that Donna gets more and more irritated while listening to that story, so he taps her shoulder. I don't like this shit either, but we can't waste time helping these people while we have our own problems to solve. I know. She comments but then clenches her hands into fists. But Lucy. We could at least kill these people from the mortal realm to balance the fight again, allowing these people a chance to fight back. He doesn't know what to say, while Daisy is also shocked by those words. She just said that those mortal realm people are friends of her family, but Donna doesn't seem to mind that. Doesn't she consider me part of the family? The mature vampire asks herself as she looks at Donna with a thoughtful expression. Helena gets tense. She understands the fact that Donna feels sorry for these people because the interference of someone as powerful as Daisy is totally unfair to them. But on the other hand, she understands that Daisy helps her family and friends. Anyway, Helena is very fond of both the mature vampire and Donna. They're actually her best friends, along with Sophia, of course. We should not interfere in this. Lucien talks to Donna as he kisses her head. However, Then he looks at Neola and Kylie. Are you from these southern tribes? Kylie quickly answers. I'm from a small island southeast of the continent. And I'm from the south-central area. Neola replies. Do you want to visit your homeland or even balance this war? He asks. Daisy gets even tenser. She doesn't know what she would do if Lucien wanted to kill the lords she helped, but she certainly wouldn't want to interfere. Neola makes a thoughtful expression but then quickly shakes her head. Slavery has always existed in the southern tribes. My own family traded me for weapons when slavers visited our village. I have no desire to go back there or help them. Kylie nods. The same goes for me. All that matters now is our new life by your side, hubby. As Daisy breathes a sigh of relief, Lucien smiles at her. Well, I guess you don't have to worry then. Helena and Rose are also relieved that things seem resolved. Although Lucien appears to be very calm, they know it doesn't take much for him to start a bloodbath. Though, I don't mind killing some of these assholes. Donna smiles as she looks at people flying towards them on floating platforms. The Sins had already warned Lucien and his sisters about those people and the fact that some of them are in the early stages of the mortal realm, which poses no danger even to his weaker troops. Are they your friends? Lucien asks, and after Daisy nods, he makes a thoughtful expression. And is your husband with them? No, I don't see Heike with them, nor the king. She answers. As they speak, the stone ships continue flying forward, as do the floating platforms of the Lords of Camblia. As soon as they reach 100 meters away, they both stop in midair. Lady Daisy. A middle-aged man in luxurious clothes speaks in a friendly tone while smiling at the mature vampire. Daisy slightly nods. Lord Wilmot, it's been a while. Wilmot slaps the young boy beside him on the head as he bows to Daisy, as do the other people on his floating platform. Your Highness looks beautiful as ever. I'm so glad you made it home safely. He seems genuinely happy to see Daisy and acts very respectfully toward her. However, the lords on the other floating platforms are focused on Lucien and his group, analyzing them with suspicious and unfriendly eyes. Wait. Another man frowns as he looks at Donna with a hostile expression. Aren't you that woman who did this damage in the center of our town and then took Lady Daisy to who knows where? Lord Jensen. Daisy speaks in an authoritative tone, clearly trying to stop that man from making the biggest mistake of his life. But he ignores her warning and floats onto Lucien's ship, landing in front of Donna. I wasn't here when that fight took place, but I recognize you from the paintings people did. The Red Demon, they say. Donna can't help but smile. She already wanted to kill that man, and he's just making it easier. However, she doesn't make any moves yet as she is curious to see Lucien's reaction. Lucien is finding that funny, actually. Such a situation would never happen on the Western continent, but in that new land, people don't know who he is. They have no idea what kind of thing happens when they offend his wives, let alone his sisters. But it's not because he thinks that situation is unusual that he's going to let someone act arrogantly with his loved ones. Don't speak in this tone to her. He says in a calm, relaxed tone. Ha! Lord Jensen looks at Lucien with a mocking expression. He is over 120 years old and is known throughout the eastern continent as one of the most brutal and powerful lords of Camblia. He is respected by everyone, and that is why he always acts arrogantly. He respects Daisy a lot for helping him and the other lords get so powerful, but he doesn't really understand about power levels. He doesn't even know the extent of Daisy's powers since she never needed to use her real power, except when she saw Donna and Sophia and then tried to run away without even a fight. Ignorance. That's the reason why Lord Jensen and the other lords don't see Lucien and his girls as a threat. And despite respecting Daisy, they only see her as a wise mage and Heike's wife. Then he points the finger at Lucien's face. You come to my home and tell me how I should act. Oh boy, you. Roar. When everyone hears Oya's imposing roar, everything happens very quickly. Daisy has a sorry expression on her face as she knows that nothing can be done to save that man. He begged the devil for a horrible death, and his request was granted. Most of Lucien's wives have smiles on their faces because they enjoy the suffering of anyone who acts hostile towards their family. Donna smiles, too, though she's a little upset that she can't kill that man with her own hands. Little Ko is also smiling while her eyes sparkle with expectation. She loves to see her mother in action, devouring Lucien's enemies. The lords and people with them, on the other hand, are scared. They hear that frightening roar enter their ears and make their bodies shake like never before. Then they see a white blur knock Lord Jensen's body at unbelievable speed. Whoosh thud. Oya, in her tigress form, presses Lord Jensen's body to the ship's deck with her paw. Her big sharp claws slowly begin to penetrate his chest, causing him the most horrible pain of his life. Ah! The poor man cries like a kid. Once the other lords understand what's going on, they quickly point their weapons at Lucien and his group. What the hell? Chapter 466. The poor dogs. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Camblia's lords are shocked as they see Oya knock down Jensen so easily. He is in the third layer of the mortal realm and is the fourth strongest person in the Freelands, second only to King, Haika, and Daisy. Like any of the other lords, he can defeat any person and mystic beast from the Zero realm very easily, and no one expected to see a big tiger have such an advantage over him. But no matter how hard he tries to lift Oya's paw, he can't move it an inch. And her claws continue to slowly penetrate deeper into his chest as her fangs get dangerously closer to his face. Wait! Daisy exclaims as she flies in front of the other lords. She clearly doesn't want to see her friends being slaughtered because of impulsive and stupid actions. While most lords see Lucien's actions as reckless and stupid, Lord Wilmot sees the worry on Daisy's face. He knows she's a much more powerful person than she looks and now thinks Lucien, Donna, and the other women with them can be that powerful too. Lady Daisy, this is a misunderstanding. He speaks in a respectful and concerned tone. We didn't mean to offend your friends. But this man offended me, Lucien comments in a relaxed tone as he enjoys the scared expression on Jensen's face. The man is about to piss himself while Oya slowly terrifies him. Think again about your actions, boy. A deep voice sounds from behind the lords. Another floating platform appears with 3 people. One is a young man with luxurious clothes, the others are middle-aged men, also with amazing clothes, but only one wears a crown, the king, and the one who talks to Lucien is the other. Dad! Rose exclaims as she smiles at Haika. However, she does not leave behind Lucien, because even wanting to hug her father, she now wants to support her husband. Daisy looks at Haika with an expression both relieved and concerned. She has many conflicting feelings, but now she wants his help to avoid a bloodbath. Haika, make the lord back down, or this will get out of hand. She asks and nods lightly to the king. He ignores Daisy's request while he doesn't stop gazing at Lucien. When he heard him say that Jensen had offended him, Haika already felt that she wouldn't like Lucien. After all, it's their home, and they don't tolerate hostile visitors. And as soon as he actually saw Lucien, that guy with the most exotic and impressive appearance of all, but also a mysterious and lustful aura, Haika was sure he didn't like Lucien at all. Why? But the shock only came when he noticed Rose standing behind Lucien. With just one look, Haika can already see that his daughter is in an intimate relationship with that strange guy. Whether it's the flushed expression on her face, her concerned look, the fact that their bodies are so close, or that she's holding the bottom of his shirt, it seems she likes him a lot. And at that moment, seeing the return of the women he loves, his friend being attacked, and meeting Lucien, Haika feels more confused than ever. He feels many different emotions at the same time. First, because of Jensen's situation, then joy at Daisy and Rose's safe return, then anger again. He is furious at that mysterious man who is apparently friends with that mysterious woman who destroyed part of his city. Then they come to his house to attack his people. And the worst thing is not that Daisy brought them but the fact that Rose possibly has feelings for that guy. No, why would my little girl like a guy like that? Heike is more disappointed by the possible closeness of Lucien and Rose than by the fact that his friend is about to get killed by Oya. He didn't expect to have such a reaction, but he can't contain his paternal feelings. Heike wants what's best for his beloved daughter, and a guy like Lucien, at first, looks like anything but a loyal and loving husband. Also, Heike can see many women around him, indicating a possible harem, which is not well regarded on the eastern continent. The thing Heike wants most now is to get his little girl away from that devil and take her and Daisy away from that situation. But he can't do that. He has to focus on the biggest problem now. And so he tries to stay calm while solving that situation. Send the tiger back, boy. He speaks to Lucien in a neutral tone. Dad. The affectionate way Rose called Heike echoes in Lucien's mind. For a second, he wonders if his children are going to call him that way or are going to be like him and his sisters, hating their father. But this is not the time for such reflections as Lucien has a big problem. Part of him wants to kill Jensen because he can't accept anyone being hostile to his family. But it's clear that Heike and Jensen are friends, and Lucien doesn't want to start his relationship with his father-in-law that way. So he is in doubt about how to act. Heike, right? He asks in a friendly tone. You see, even though that guy acted disrespectful to my sister, I still told him to back off. But he just refused my mercy. Mercy? Heike asks sarcastically before pointing at Donna. This woman appeared out of nowhere along with other creatures and destroyed half of our city. Many of my people died that day, and she was the one who was hostile to us first. And now you come here to attack one of my people's main protectors. That is not mercy. Heike. Daisy flies in front of her husband and quickly speaks in a soft tone. You have no idea who they are. They saved Rose's life and mine. Yes, I'm really healed thanks to him and his sister, so please show some respect and gratitude. Healed. Heike is confused again. He's happy, but at the same time, it's really bad not to understand what's going on. It's okay, mother. Law. Lucien speaks in a loving tone, but his words shock Heike, the other lords, the king, and especially the young man beside him. Lucien continues. He has a right to be upset about his friend and people, but we still have to solve it. Preferably a way that it doesn't end with my friend's death. Heike comments. Hubby. For the first time since that situation began, Rose speaks to Lucien mentally. Jensen is an asshole and deserves to die. But just this once, I beg you, don't make things difficult for my dad. Lucien sighs and pats Rose's head, leaving Heike and the young man beside the king, really furious. Then he looks at Donna, and even though they don't say anything, she understands that he doesn't want to let the situation get out of hand. Donna isn't particularly upset with Jensen for accusing her of destroying a part of his city, but she's still mad at all those lords for being like the Silver Legion of her homeworld. But as she doesn't want to make trouble for Lucien and his wives, Donna nods for him. Then Lucien nods to Heike. I think an apology will be enough. As soon as he speaks those words, Oya looks at him with a confused expression, actually a little sad too. She doesn't say anything, but the question, really, it's evident in her eyes. I'm sorry, dear, but you're going to have to release this prey. He speaks in a relaxed way, but all those men are still very nervous. Oya gets off Jensen, and blood runs from the holes in his chest, but he's alive, and he's fortunate for that. The tigress walks up to Lucien and sniffs his hand, clearly asking compensation for the unsatisfactory end of that situation. He pats her head while looking at Jensen with a neutral expression. I still haven't heard your apology. You. Jensen is still too scared to have any other reaction, but Heike sees that as high disrespect and clenches his fists as he grows angrier at Lucien. Heike. But then King speaks in an authoritative tone. That's enough. We all owe Lady Daisy too much, and if this boy helped her, we have to be grateful to him and not start conflict without any point. Damn. Heike can't help but mentally curse. He doesn't like Lucien's arrogant attitude at all, and he definitely doesn't think he's good for his daughter. Daisy creates a stone bridge between the king's floating platform and the ship, so Heike walks over to her while trying to hug her. My love, I missed you. The vampire almost responds to Heike with an, I missed you, too, but her lips cannot pronounce those words. Also, whether because of their awkward situation or something else, her body instinctively avoids his touch at that moment. Heike instinctively feels something bad when he sees Daisy avoid his touch, but he thinks it's just due to the tension of the situation. To avoid losing face in front of everyone, he avoids Daisy and walks towards Lucien, or rather his daughter. Rose, my daughter, come here and hug your dad. Dad. I missed you so much. Rose doesn't hesitate to run and hug Heike. Lucien can see that they really love each other. And that's a good thing. He wouldn't want all his wives to be angry at their fathers. That's definitely not the natural way of things. Daisy looks at Lucien with a pleading expression as she floats Jensen back to the floating platform of the other lords. She already expected that there would be a conflict between them as both Lucien and his sisters and the lords of Camblia are very arrogant. But she also wanted to see how he would react in such a situation and is glad he is willing to be so forgiving as not to hurt Rose. While father and daughter have a moment together, the king walks across the bridge to the ship and bows respectfully to Daisy. Lady Daisy, I'm glad we managed to put a peaceful end to it. Your new friends are interesting. Daisy smiles amiably. Yeah, you're right, Elliot. And Heike's still so stubborn as ever. As the king and Daisy talk friendly, the young man behind him walks towards Rose and Heike while smiling. Rose. The young prince actually is 20.5 years old, but he still looks very young, unlike Lucien, who, despite still being 20, already looks. Well, he looks different than any other man in all characteristics. Look, it's young Neil. Heike turns to the prince as he continues to hug Rose, making her turn to him as well. But Rose doesn't seem happy to see her friend. In fact, she met Neil when he was just a baby and played with him a lot back then. But after he reached a certain age, she stopped enjoying his company for several reasons. And those reasons are even more significant now, so she steps back, returning to Lucien's side as she takes his hand and talks to her father. This is Lucien, my husband. It was already evident that Rose has a relationship with Lucien, but hearing her say it out loud still leaves Heike and Neil with sad expressions on their faces and a sour taste in their mouths. The young prince looks like the lost dog and Heike its owner. Chapter 467. The Perfect Son. In law you are listening at novelfull.audio. 467 The Perfect Son. In law, my husband. Words that all fathers fear. They know that one day they will listen to that and suffer by antecedents until that moment. Well, at least those who love their daughters. No father can say they're happy when a strange man appears out of nowhere and steal their little princesses. They spend so many years giving their best for their daughters, and one day they realize they are no longer the most important man in their life. With that thought in mind, no one could blame Heike for not reacting well to discovering that Rose is no longer his little princess. Not even Lucien could be upset with a father for such a reaction. But Heike already expected that day. It took him several years to realize that Rose was growing and would inevitably become a woman. That's why he prepared for that moment. The first time he thought about that was when he saw Rose playing with little Neil 20.5 years ago. That was when Heike made a promise to himself that his daughter would have the best husband in the world. But he couldn't depend on luck to find that husband, and Neil was a perfect choice because he was just a baby. So Heike helped Elliot, his best friend, raise the boy and make him the perfect husband for Rose. Elliot had nothing against that. Even though he was chosen as the king of Camblia, he still respects Daisy more than anyone else, and even if he had to make his son Rose's servant, that would be his honor. And so they raised Neil. The prince was taught to be a strong and honorable warrior, but most of all, he was taught to respect Rose, be kind, and totally loyal only to her. Well, that was what Elliot thought. But Heike didn't think quite that way. He not only taught Neil to be nice to Rose but also to be what he considered the perfect husband for his daughter. Neil would never take Rose away from her parents, he would never get to be the most important man in her life, and the main thing, the young prince would never manage to make Rose stop being Heike's little princess. Heike planned everything perfectly. They were going to be a perfect family forever. He wouldn't let any guy show up out of nowhere and steal his most precious treasure. But something wasn't in his plans. When Rose asked to travel the world alone, he was clearly against it. But how could he say no to Daisy? Heike knew that wouldn't end well, and now Rose returns home with Lucien, not just a random guy, but a villain. Exactly, Heike can clearly see that Lucien is a bad guy, whether because of his devilishly attractive appearance, his mysterious aura, his teasing smile, or the army of beautiful women with him. Damn. Even his scent makes me sure he's a lascivious man. Heike can't stop imagining Lucien devastating his little princess. But he can't panic. Yes, he can't scold Rose because of Lucien, or he would be giving her more reasons to walk away from him. So he tries to make a fake smile, which is obvious to everyone, so he just looks at Lucien with a thoughtful expression. Lucien, right. It's a peculiar name. Fuck it. Even his name makes him look like a villain. He thinks as he compares Neil to Lucien. While one is a gentle angel, the other is a devil. Lucien smiles and extends his hand to him. And you are Heike, my father.in.law. Father.in.law, those words echo in Heike's mind. Shit. How did it end up like this? She left just over a year ago, but isn't that going too fast? He already really considers himself her husband, but that can't be right. Maybe it's not too late yet. Heike shakes Lucien's hand quickly, but he can't keep looking at that fucking handsome face, so he quickly turns and smiles at Neil, who now doesn't know what to do. Neil really missed you, Rose. He speaks while ignoring Lucien and trying to get Rose closer to Neil. But as much as he gently tries to push Rose towards the prince, he can't get her to move an inch. When she left home, she was still in the zero realm as Daisy didn't want to give her more powerful potions while her body was still maturing. But now Rose is much stronger than Heike. Still holding Lucien's hand, Rose smiles at Neil. Hi, young prince. This is Lucien, my husband. Why is she repeating that, and in such a sweet, proud tone? Heike and Neil think at the same time. But it is obvious that Rose wants to make it very clear that nothing can separate her from her lover. Neil nods to Lucien while Rose introduces him. This is my childhood friend. Well, I actually saw him grow up. For Rose, Neil will always be a friend. She sees him as a young boy while Lucien is the man of her life. And Neil can understand that just by looking at them. Lucien, right. Should I use some royal title? The king walks toward him while speaking in a friendly and respectful tone. Anyway, nice to meet you. King. Daisy comments. Lucien is the king of the West Continent. Elliot makes a thoughtful expression. King of the entire continent. Well, I rule alongside my sister, and we have loyal people to help us. Lucien answers. Incredible. Elliot makes an impressed expression. I also have loyal friends that I consider my family, and yet it's not easy for us to govern just half of this continent. You can't complain when your friends are so undisciplined. Donna looks at the lords with a mocking expression. Elliot does a sorry look. I'm really sorry for that. I saw you defeat those creatures, but my people don't understand that you helped us. They're afraid of the unknown and that it impairs their judgment. Ha ha ha. Donna starts to laugh. Don't need this shit. The truth is I hate your people, and I didn't contain my strength when I was fighting to make a big mess in your city. I hate damn slavers. Donna's boldness shocks the lords, who are now even angrier with her, including Heike. But Elliot can see how concerned Daisy's expression is whenever they look at Donna hostilely. Elliot is a wise person, and unlike Heike and the other lords, he doesn't let his emotions blind his judgment. He can even see how Daisy respects Lucien, and that's why he's sure he's a man above all others. Not just that, but he sees how Lucien has Daisy's approval to be Rose's husband, in addition to the fact that she has said he has cured her. So he thinks Lucien is probably the most powerful person among them, and he definitely doesn't want to offend him. That's why Elliot quickly looks at the lords with stern expressions, clearly ordering them to be silent. And who looks at Heike with that expression is Daisy, of course. Then he looks at Donna and Lucien again, not knowing what to say. Lucien realizes that and speaks in a neutral tone. You don't have to fear anything, we won't interfere in your kingdom. Elliot can see that Lucien has no interest in the Eastern continent and thinks he probably only came because of Rose. Yet, this is the first official contact between the rulers of the continents, and he hopes to forge an alliance with Lucien. What about a dinner later? He suggests. Give me the opportunity to formally apologize for those mistakes. Lucien sees similarities between Elliot and Ron. They are smart people who know how to be diplomatic, but they also hide second intentions. The crucial difference is that Ron is part of the family, while he can't really trust Elliot. Sorry, but we don't have that time right now, Lucien responds, also diplomatically. I just came here to work some things with Daisy and meet my father. Law. But I have to get back as soon as possible. Elliot makes a genuinely sad expression. He really wanted to know more about the ruler of the Western continent. I understand. Well, I won't take your time, but in case you need anything, let me know, and I'll do my best to help you. Lucien just nods. Then Elliot bows to Daisy before heading back to his floating platform with his son. Heike follows him and whispers that he'll keep an eye on Lucien and his group before returning to his wife's side. The other lords don't seem to agree very much with that. They are still upset with Donna and Lucien, thinking they humiliated them. Yet, they trust Elliot's judgment and realize that trying anything could result in a very bad ending for them, especially after Oya's show of strength. As the floating platform of the lords and king fly back to town, Neil continues to look at Rose with a depressed expression. Lucien can see that the boy is really in love with her and is heartbroken, but the prince only still has a heart because he was so merciful and diplomatic. The little vampire happily smiles as he holds Lucien's hand. Thank you, hubby. I know you wanted to kill them, but you didn't do that because of me. He strokes her hair and kisses her forehead. However, I can't promise that I won't kill anyone until we get back, as I don't think they'll really leave us alone. What matters is that you gave them a chance, so if they ever bother us again, I'll be the first to attack. She comments and kisses his lips. Daisy smiles and shakes her head as she watches their scene, but Heike makes a shocked expression. I can't believe you would actually attack little Neil. You were always so close, they're our family. Rose can understand her father's way of thinking. She actually wanted to think that way because she grew up with those people. However, only when she met Lucien did she really feel that she had found people besides Heike and Daisy who could be her family. She wants to tell Heike that and explain how she has her own family now, but she can't. He is her father, and she loves him. She respects him and understands his feelings. So she bows her head in silence. Heike sighs as he gazes at Lucien with a thoughtful expression. Damn devil. How much have you influenced my little princess? Despite not being able to read Heike's mind, Lucien has an idea of what he is thinking. And he can't help but wonder why things can't be as easy as it was with Anne's father. Well, Anne's father was a humble person who knew his daughter would fly higher than he could ever dream about. He saw that Lucien would be the perfect person to be with her while they go on adventures together. Heike, on the other hand, is arrogant and possessive like Lucien. And because of that, he thinks the best place for Rose is beside him, along with Daisy. Also, he sees Lucien as a bad influence and doesn't believe that a man with a harem can truly love a single woman as she deserves. Daisy also notices the tense atmosphere between Lucien and Heike. Then she starts moving the ships towards her house, a big castle just like those of the other lords. She also notices the way Rose stands next to Lucien, always supporting him. But she doesn't feel that instinctive desire to be by Heike's side. Is there something wrong with me? She wonders as she stands beside him to keep him from doing anything to Lucien. Chapter 468. Playing the good devil again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The distance to Daisy's castle isn't long, but that journey seems to be taking hours. That's because the mood between Lucien and Heike is really tense. Two possessive men who want the best for the women they love but don't accept each other's behavior. They don't even know each other well, but they can already identify the traits they hate in each other. Heike is already 70.4, and Lucien is much more mature than most people of his age, but both seem to act like kids while gazing at each other. Rose continues to hug Lucien while Daisy hugs Heike, is still avoiding Heike's touch, which leaves him with a bitter taste in his mouth. Somehow, the girls already knew it was going to be like that because they know the men they love and how arrogant and stubborn they are. Heike is acting the way Daisy expected, but Lucien isn't really. He and Donna could destroy Petra in one night, leaving no stone unturned, but he is acting quite diplomatic and calm as a true good devil. A dragon being merciful to ants for the woman he loves. That's the way Daisy sees that situation, and inside her heart, even though it hurts, she knows Heike wouldn't do the same for her. She doesn't blame her husband and doesn't even think that it is his fault. She understands well how power influences people, and those very powerful don't accept any shit from others much weaker. But Lucien is doing it now for Rose. There is nothing he wouldn't do for his beloved one because their happiness and safety are what matters most to him. Daisy doesn't notice, but she's gazing at Lucien right now. Many people, including Rose, notice her thoughtful look, but Heike doesn't. He is very focused on gazing at Lucien and his hand on his beloved daughter's waist. Rose, my daughter, Heike speaks in a loving tone. Are you mad at me? Of course not, Dad. She sighs and walks over to him before hugging him. I just don't like how things are going. Heike makes a sorry expression as he continues to look at Lucien over Rose's shoulder. I understand, Anne. I know this is my fault. I'm so sorry. Rose hugs her father more tightly. I love you so much, Dad, and I want you to get along with Lucien because I love him so much too. I see, darling. He responds as he realizes Rose's feelings for Lucien seem stronger than he thought. And getting along with him means respecting his family, my new family. Rose continues. Those creatures that Donna killed were terrible dragons that destroy worlds. They would destroy this world after taking everything your people have, but she defeated them even though she had no reason to help you. But Heike tries to sound respectful. She is clearly hostile to us, and I don't even know how did we offend her. Donna shakes her head and turns away, returning to the sofa, where the other girls wait. Then Rose sighs. People like us try to enslave her people in her homeworld, and she finds my mother's help in making you and the other lords more powerful than anyone else in this world really unfair. Heike still doesn't understand why Donna doesn't like his people. He thinks the strong should rule over the weak no matter what, which is the most basic law of nature, predators devour prey. But he also understands that Donna saved them, and even though she doesn't like them, they have to be grateful to her. You're right, daughter. I acted like an idiot. But these people came out of nowhere, and I was afraid. Let's start over, Lucien suggests. Let's forget about that bad situation and get along. Yeah. Heike smiles as he agrees with Lucien. However, a part of him knows that it won't be easy to get along with someone so peculiar. Rose and Daisy can see that Heike is still very hesitant to accept Lucien, but he's doing his best, so they smile as the stone ships fly toward their big castle. The castle is gigantic, and the buildings around it also belong to Daisy and Heike. So Lucien's troops explore the place, taking time to just relax while he and his family enter the castle. And as Daisy knows that Lucien is always concerned about Bloody Rose, she wants to take him, Donna, and Amelia, quickly to her laboratory while Rose takes the other girls on a tour of the castle. I'm going with you, Heike speaks while holding Daisy's hand. But she lets go of his hand while making a sorry expression. You better not get involved in this, you wouldn't understand. Heike is confused and curious, but he doesn't really understand a lot about Daisy. That way is easier since he doesn't have to worry about her things, especially those related to her vampiric side. And despite feeling an instinctive premonition that it's not good to leave his wives hanging around with the devilishly attractive Lucien, Heike chooses not to oppose her anymore, at least for now. He also needs a strong drink and time to process everything that's going on. I will speak with the servants to prepare a feast for our guests. He smiles. Family. Daisy corrects him. They are our family now, don't forget. Yeah, I meant family. He smiles at her before heading towards the kitchen. Daisy doesn't like it, but she can't deny that she feels relieved when Heike leaves them. She's been tense since they met, and even though she thinks it's just fear that he and Lucien end up fighting, she feels there's something else upsetting her. Lucien also feels that something is wrong. He's actually quite concerned about what he's seeing. He's not a marriage expert, but he can already see many flaws in Daisy and Heike's relationship. Shall we go to my lab? She asks. All my Bloody Rose research is in there. Sure, lead the way. He responds and then follows Daisy along with Donna, Amelia, and the Sins. As the castle is quite huge, the walk to Daisy's laboratory, on the highest floor, takes a few minutes, and during that time, they talk. Why didn't you let your husband come with us? Lucien asks. It is complicated, Daisy responds but realizes that her response doesn't sound good, so she tries to explain. Well, he wouldn't understand anything about it, and he doesn't like to interfere in my things either. Lucien shakes his head. It doesn't feel right. I mean, you should know everything about each other to support each other. If something's important to you, that should be important to him as well. But for that, you can't push him away. Daisy doesn't really understand what Lucien means. She always took care of her things alone before meeting Heike and after too. On simple matters or things related to Rose, they decide together, but she can't really share things about her alchemy or vampire nature with Heike as he doesn't like that. Why do you care so much about my relationship with my husband? She asks. Now it's Lucien who doesn't know what to say. I just want us to be a big happy family. He smiles. But you can tell me if I'm too annoying. Daisy giggles as she thinks it's funny to be getting marital advice from a guy over 200 years younger than her. You're right, we should share more of the things that matter to us. She comments but then makes a sad expression. But that's impossible as Heike doesn't feel comfortable with a lot of things about me. She doesn't really know how to explain it. Humans, in general, don't accept the unknown well. That's why they are a poorly evolved race. Lucien doesn't fully believe Daisy's words. The part about humans is genuine because even though they are one of the biggest races in the universe, they are divided and don't have enough power to be considered a superior race. But he doubts Heike doesn't really want to be more involved in Daisy's life. Well, he doesn't understand much about vampires either, let alone alchemy, but he would be willing to learn to get closer to his wife and believes most men would do the same for a woman like Daisy. Also, he saw Heike try that, and Daisy deny him such an opportunity. But Lucien doesn't know what their daily lives are like to be sure of anything yet. After Lucien was silent, Daisy felt uncomfortable. I think he's afraid of me sometimes. Fear. He can't believe that. Daisy is so sweet and kind, so how could her husband be afraid of her? I think so. Well, he always acts confident, but he also ignores me a lot. She explains. I think he's afraid of anything that involves a power greater than what he understands. He doesn't like to leave his comfort zone. Lucien makes a thoughtful expression. Maybe it's because of the huge power difference between you and him. Can't you help him get stronger? I tried. She quickly responds. I wanted to use all the resources I had left to help him, and Rose get stronger before I. But he only accepted my help to get to the mortal realm. Now he says he wants to get stronger on his own with training or whatever. Pride. He comments. What about Rose? Did she travel to the Western continent to get stronger on her own? Daisy sighs and nods. Yes, she wanted so badly to prove to Heike that she could get stronger without my alchemy. She wanted him to be proud of her. And now she so badly wants him to accept you. Lucien can see that Daisy is under too much stress. But he also realizes that the way she talks about Heike is very different from how his wives talk about him. Why does it look so different? I don't think I have any normal relationships, or their relationship that's wrong. He thinks. They finally arrive at Daisy's lab door, but she wishes the distance was bigger so she could have more time to talk to Lucien. She never spoke those thoughts out loud and now feels relieved. Here we are. She comments as they enter the lab. The room is quite big, occupying most of that floor of the castle. However, there is not that much empty space inside. There's a mess in the room, with books strewn all over the place, whether on the floor, on dusty furniture, or even on the chandelier. There are also cauldrons and ingredients like herbs, mushrooms, stones, and dozens of other things Lucien and his sisters don't recognize. The place smells like potions, but Lucien can also feel Daisy's natural scent throughout. You spend a lot of time here, right? She smiles. Here is the only place I've felt at peace in the last dozens of years. So you need to meet new places. He puts his hand on her shoulder as he laughs. Daisy feels quite close to Lucien and enjoys talking to him about anything as he seems to really listen to what she says. She laughs too. You're absolutely right.